Randy's doing a podcast now? Just got a notification. Yo, Frank, what's up? Hello, Darius. Hello. What's new on Kentucky Lake? When's the last time you were out there? Night bite? What's new in Canada, Frank? How's the weather? Scott, your box is going out today. I will tell you that it was packaged with extra care because the Bean and I came up here yesterday and she packaged it for you and taped it. I helped her a little bit, but uh, yeah. Morgan, would a half ounce be appropriate for that? Because I'm skirting up these swim jigs and I got to move them. So maybe they'll just be not grass jigs anymore. They'll be scope and swims. I think that's my angle. A swim jig is a wacky rig. I don't get bit on a wacky rig like I think I should. Scott, do you have any last requests for the Bagley Rapala group? Color wise? Anything you need? Anything you're want to try? Ooh, I just got an idea. Should probably do that. I'll never paint it. Scott, I've got my Noala swim jig. So the reason I have so many half ounces is because the first time I ordered these, I was trying to be big time, and I was going to start outsourcing stuff. Said, hey, I can, do a little something, get something I don't maybe touch as much. I'll let somebody else build them. So I had them outsourced, and to probably the most widely used casting company in the U.S. And I ordered like, I don't know, 500 3/8. Well, they show up, and like I paid a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like had the molds made, had the prototypes done, had like went back and forth forever. Like it was a lot that went into it, and then like you break off like between 1,000 and 2,000 in jig heads, and that was a lot of money. Like pretty much broke me for uh, whatever time. Well, I get them in, and I'm looking at them. I'm like, these things are these things are kind of big. So I get my 3/8 prototype and I look at it and I'm like, oh, they're big because they're half ounce. So I send the dude an email, the man who signs the checks, and I said, hey, I ordered 3/8. You poured me half ounce. I don't want these. I don't need these. I said, well, we can't refund your money, but what we can do is give you a 5% discount on your next order. Great. So I would still be selling 3/8 ounces because people want to swim those. I don't know a whole lot of people that go out and they're like, "Ooh, where's the half ounce swim jig section?" It's pretty niche. So, like, I can't walk into the local store with an abundance of half ounce jigs and be like, you want a bunch of half ounce swim jigs?" Like, no, nobody swims a half ounce jig. Uh, but it, yeah. So I don't have a ton. I think I've got 50 total um, left that have just been sitting over there in a pile that I haven't done anything with. So I'm finally deciding that I need to skirt them. So I'm skirting them. So there'll be a package. Um, the degree is like a 20. It's not much. 25. The interesting thing is, um, I don't know what the degree was ever set at. I set it in my prototype, but I didn't measure it. But if you want to know something interesting uh, about this jig, and I'll tell you, this has got that Gamakatsu Siwash tuna hook in it, the big nasty one, the one that well, I guess the No Jack Dirty Jig has. Well, me being the kind of guy I am, I searched and searched and searched product catalogs, Japan Gamakatsu, like Japan only Gamakatsu catalogs. I searched and searched and searched and searched for this hook, and I never could find it. And I wanted that big. This is before like dirty jigs kind of got like you could get a dirty jig, but I don't know that anybody else had this big ass hook in it. And so I was like, oh, I'm gonna get that hook. And I'm like, not compete against dirty jigs, but I'd be us two. So I looked and looked and spent like way too much time looking for this damn thing. So uh, I never could find anything. So when I called these people that made these, they said, we got some hook options. I said, okay. And they sent me the hooks. I was like, yeah, I don't want that hook. I don't want that hook. Like, the hook's the most important part. I was like, what about that big tuna Gamakatsu hook? And I was like, yeah. I said, can you get those? And he said, yeah. I said, what's the part number on it? And he said, he gave it to me. And he's like, but there's an extra piece you have to buy. I said, what do you mean? He said, it's not a jig hook. Said, tell me more. He said, it's just a straight shank hook, and we put a link between it and the eye. That's not the eye of the jig. I said, you're shitting me. I said, no. He said, that's why we can't pour them in anything smaller than a half or 3/8 ounce. He said, because the hook eye is too big. I said, I'll be a son of a bitch. So, uh, all that looking and all that like heartache trying to find that damn hook, it was never a jig hook to begin with. There you go. Lesson learned. So I guess you just need to ask the right people. Brian, that is a good way to guarantee you order more jigs. Send somebody the wrong shit and tell them, sorry. Uh, Frank, I don't know. It was kind of strange to me too. Like, I would have been okay buying the hooks. Like, I understand that they had to buy the hooks. I'll buy the hooks. but the lead and the paint, and I sent the eyes. The lead and the paint is on them. So in my mind, I feel like I should have gotten. I'll I'll accept the hook bill, um, but no, that wasn't it. Oh well. So that didn't really chub me up to like try and get more, send them more money or do more lead stuff. So yeah, and then it also happened. Uh, the last time I ordered some. The last thing I ordered from them, I ordered some 3/8 spinnerbait heads, and they did such a terrible job. They put the wrong eyes on. Like one side would have like a 5 millimeter eye on it, and the other side would have like a 4 millimeter eye on it. They were so sloppy and so shitty that I had to go back and take all the eyes off and retry and super glue some of the eyes on, and like they were just bad. And so, but like these, but that was during COVID. So apparently they had a real hard time uh, with getting employees to stay around, and um, they were running on their D team apparently. Um, but they were bad. So after those, I said, man, I'll just I'll just find somebody else to do these. Now I've got the molds back, so I can do them myself or whatever. Which I like better anyway because I can stick with my own wire. It's Cast Industries. Jeremy, they they do everything. Like every probably jig in your box is liable to have been made there. Like they're a monster company. I think they just bought Lure Parts Online. Um, they were kind of the parent company to it, but I don't remember what happened. They were somehow tied into each other, but now I think they're one. Um, so I mean, it's not like you can call them and order stuff, like unless you're having something made. But if you're having a bunch of, if you want to have a jig manufactured, I would probably, they're one of the main, they're number one. Uh, yeah, basically any mass-produced lead bait in your box from any major company is probably coming out of Cast. Um, but maybe it's because I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a small fry. Uh, I don't really know. I think it may be bad timing, all of the above. Small run for them, so it wasn't like a. If we piss this guy off, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? But oh well. Oh well. I wish Southern Spinach guys got back to me on the buzz piece because I didn't want to take it to Cast. Um, trying to think. They still haven't responded. So there just needs to be a mold made. You could probably pay Josh to do it, Morgan. If I were to bet. If Tato will jump on, he might take you up on that offer. All you have to do is buy the pie, throw him some crumbs for his mold troubles, and be off to the races. Maybe not. Depends on what mood you catch him in. So the shitty thing about these hook keepers, they hang your skirt. Jeremy, Josh's glides are they're more than looking badass. They are badass. They are badass. Unfortunately, I don't know that many people. The glide market is so saturated that people don't know their head from their hole in their ass anymore because there's just so much of it. You don't know what's what. It's a lot. It is a lot. The glide market's gotten to be the custom painted crankbait market of like five years ago, is what I would say. Boo boo. Come here. It's okay. Sandtone jigs. Hey, boo boo. Come here. Come here. Hey, quit barking. Calm down. Sandtone, do they sell just jig heads? Johnny, that is true. But I mean, even then, like you'll get swamped like trying to remember whose company makes what. Like it's endless, dude. It's a lot. Because every time I get on Facebook on like Swimbait Universe, there's some new glide. But check this out. It's like, okay. Come check out TPC Swimbaits. It's like, dude, ain't nobody remembering that shit. Hey. Either 3 or 5 bag. That's what I used to like to do. I liked I like just buying heads, but I could never find it. I never fell in love with the head. There was always something I disliked about them. So I would buy them for the convenience, and then I would use them for like a month and be like, I don't like these. I don't like these. Like I used to buy a bunch of the not a bunch, but I used to buy the Boss heads. They had a Gary Klein one. Did Brent Erler have one with Boss? Maybe he had a jig. Gary Klein had a jig. Who else? A brand new depths. Got to get those OGs, dude. Got to get them old foamies. or resin, whatever they were. Well, I think the other thing that probably ruined the 250 market was that people figured out all the websites that you could order them from Japan for cheap, and before that, you had, you know, guys had their little internet hidey holes that they would go and buy these things and then order them and flip them, and then it got enough people figure it out, and no more no more deals. No more deals. Or I wouldn't say deals, no more blown up prices. No more out of proportion prices. Darius, I don't think you're too old. I just think you got things that like resonate with you, and uh, that I prefer conventional stuff. Like I like swim bait stuff, um, but it doesn't chub me up. It doesn't make me a whole lot excited. Um, like when I get excited to go fishing, I'm not thinking about, man, I can't wait to go throw a swim bait. Like I get excited about throwing a crankbait and pitching a jig and doing normal stuff. But there's times when it's super fun. But like I said, it's not something I lose sleep over. I like conventional stuff. Agreed. I'm with you, Darius. I'd rather catch them. I'd rather catch them doing what I said, swimming a jig, frogging. Like fishing glads. That is the way of the world now in the glide world. Apparently, is if you ain't chopping or selling a chopper glide, then people don't want that long, slow, wide shit. Don't you eat that, boo. Everybody wants to chop. Everybody wants to chop. Man, if regular stuff gets boring to me, that's going to be a bad day. That is going to be a bad day. Maybe that's when I'll have to pick up the swimmer. My problem with swim bait fishing is that it's early enough in its infancy that uh, I'm not going to throw it all day. First off, like I'm not going to just take a 9-inch bait or a 10-inch bait and just go throw it for 10 hours. Not going to happen. And there's bite windows for everything, and it's not one of those things that I feel like you can just kind of go out there and lob around and like get lucky and be like, oh, I'm gonna go throw this for 10 minutes and see what happens. You might get some followers and might tip you off to something, but uh, it's not worth that to me. Darius, how is that working out for you? I've always heard that the hookup ratio was bad on that. When the water gets cold is when you need your big wide glider. like I said, I think it's too early in the infancy of swim bait fishing to know when to use what, and I don't know that there's enough baits out there to fill all those gaps. Like for instance, if you're hell bent on throwing something big, like a big swim bait, and the fish are just completely shut off, and it's one of those like Cinco days where you have to let something sit, what do you do? You know what I mean? Just glide slower. You have to have like a neutral bait. Haven't lost one fish this year. That's pretty good then. That's pretty good. I feel like that was the only complaint I ever heard from those dudes. Spy baiters. What are you chewing on, dog? You're gonna get electrocuted. Stop. Drop shot. Exactly. Mm. Jeremy, what was your first swim bait? What got it all going? What made you say, man, I like this? The other funny thing, speaking of Huddleston, uh, that supposedly the biggest problem they're having right now is the misconception that a Huddleston is to be primarily used in the wintertime in cold water. Apparently, that's the word on the street to all the little up and comers now, that it has been labeled a wintertime bait. Johnny, I'm with you, dude. I can flip grass indefinitely. S Waver 168. Like, I don't know. Just give me like a 1 ounce sinker and a hard edge of grass, and I can just put the trolling motor on and flip mindlessly and not get bites. Like if I just want to like chill out and like just go fishing and not like be feverishly trying to like figure out what's going on, I can zone out and do that and like still enjoy myself. They throw a rate of fall 0 HUD here when it gets hot more than any other HUD or time of year. That's interesting. Up shallower, I guess. Water temps were high, so the pike were deep. That's good to know. Fish around you are so stupid. Yeah, that helps. That helps. That helps when you get feedback fast and you get some good action. Oh, trout below the dams. Oh, interesting. So it's like a drift thing. Drift thing. Yo, AJ, look at me. Look at what I'm doing. Look at what my dumbass is doing. I had a little spare time, so I decided to pull the jigs out and skirt them. I'm tired of walking in here and seeing them sitting over there on that table doing nothing. So they're taking up room, and I need to get them gone. They need to go live somewhere else. I need to send them back to Cast Industries and tell them to eat a dick. Here's your jigs back. But I had to pay full price for them, so I'm not going to do that. I'll throw a big boy jig in the Club Derby. What happened? You didn't get bid after 10 casts, so you went back to the Mindy Magic Finesse. How much did your big boy jig weigh? 3/8? Quarter? Or did you beef it up? Go full half? Jeremy, what happened? Is there that many people throwing a swim bait around you? How long did it last? How long did this stupidity last? Block It series. Is he still hawking those jigs, or I guess that kind of went by the wayside when Boatworks went by the wayside? What is this from? Where does this go? Anyway. Hey, JP. I haven't heard much from the Block It jig. I guess it's not good anymore. He's not hawking it. Swim jig is a must. JP, what's your favorite? What's your go-to swim jig? Full half. They wanted it. Oh boy. Oh boy. Might be seeing a change out of AJ. Might start winning some of these derbs now. It was probably 4 to 5 years. Everyone's caught on to it. Sounds about right. 4 to 5 years is a pretty good. You got a pretty good run though. Pretty good run at it. Scott, you could definitely hop this jig. Like, it's got a good size, good shaped head for it. You could definitely pitch it in grass. The only thing that bothers me about pitching this jig is I don't like pitching a jig with a fish head design. Like, if I took the eyes off and like filled it in with Bondo and recast this jig, it would be awesome. But I can't make myself pitch a headed jig. Probably maybe in grass, but something irks me about that. So I stay away. The greatest pitching head design ever. Except it looks like a fish, so can't throw it. Nobody's caught on to the rat yet. Well, hopefully nobody. The white one, the splatterback. I would feel better, honestly, pitching a jig with painted on eyes on a rounder head that didn't have any detail, that just had painted eyes. I could do that, and I've done it for the majority of my life. Um, Pitch like an arky head with painted eyes on it, but having like a gill plate and being like shaped like a fish, I just can't pitch it in a tree. What's up, builder dude? Little Schmitty Swim. I'm also a big fan of the Dirty Jigs Finesse. Fished on 10 pound. Wow. Does Dirty Jigs make a bad jig? Never used one I didn't like. I've never owned a Dirty Jig. I don't know. I don't know, Bobby. I don't know. Probably not. I mean, if you're going to make a jig, I feel like the only way you can really make it bad is with the hook. I don't know who anybody in Griffin, Georgia is, so ignore. Where are we at? What about if it was white around the Shaz pond? Would you flip it then when the sun is higher? Yes. That's the exception. The only exception, the problem with that exception is I only have 4 half-ounces left in white. But yes, I would do that. Yes, I would not have a problem with that. Like I said, I'd probably pitch it around some weeds. But as like a wood jig, it's a nice looking little. So some of these skirt colors, you may notice from 6 cents, because I ordered my skirts from overseas. 6 cents did too. And then one day I went to reorder some skirts, and all the colors that I had purchased were no longer available. So I'm guessing 6 cents worked out a deal with them to where those colors would no longer be widely available to the public. I guess they bought those color patterns. I don't know how that works. I didn't think the Chinese worked like that, but I love their skirts. I don't know. I like them better than the ones made in the Philippines or Vietnamese skirts or whatever they are. No, that's where a lot of them are made. Vietnam. Morgan, you like that one with the little greeny in it? It's got purple, green, some copper green pumpkin, watermelon looking stuff. Nice looking skirt. So I guess the next time I have skirts made, I'm going to have to send them samples and get them to match them. That skirt's actually a little thicker than I like. Typically, if I were to put this skirt on one of my jigs, I would rip half the green pumpkin out. It's got way too much. Too thicky. Too thicky for me. Your favorite wasn't too far from that. It's a nice looking color. I know guys that I've caught them really, really good on it. Actually, I take that back. I did catch them really good on it one day, and it's because I had this exact jig tied on to swim, and I came up on a duck blind early in the spring. It was like February, March, and rather than swim it, I pitched it by one of the canes in the duck blind and let it sink and got bit and kept doing it. And they were biting it, so I kept doing it. But that's, now that I think about it, that was this jig as is, except I flipped this up and I took like 4 pieces of bright orange and laid on the belly and wrapped it in with wire. So it was this color with like a bright orange belly. But I did pitch it. Where's Gator at? I picked a spinnerback box at a yard sale and it has a couple big single thumpers in the box. That's a nice pickup. A little more straight and magic crawl, green, pumpkin, bluish, black and blue. It's a very white color screen, but I like black and blue and black trailer. Yeah. There's some additions that I add to black and blue that I think make a difference. Black, blue, and chartreuse for one. But an underestimated color for the old swimmer's jig, solid black. Nobody ever swims solid black, but solid black with like a green pumpkin or Okeechobee crawl trailer. Shit, get your damn arm broke. Black could be the #1 most underrated color in all of fishing. I believe. Black, blue, and chartreuse on the river. Maybe it's just a river thing, dude. Scott swims all black. He knows. He knows. All black will get your damn arm broken. Still a big proponent of a straight tail powder blue, a straight light powder blue swim jig. The whole jig? Dude, that used to be my favorite color, everything. When I got a hold of a pack of the backwater blue, it's not light blue, but when I got a hold of the backwater blue Sweet Beavers, over green pumpkin magic crawl pumpkin with a Sungill Pekka Slim. Water visibility was less than a foot. And you got thumped. Sounds sexy. Sungill is very sexy color. I can see why that got eaten. I bought out an estate sale over the weekend. It was an online auction, and I pick it up Wednesday. Very nervous. 550 invested. Hoping. Is it all fishing related? Or do you have like microwaves and shit? And like dirty underwear and shit to go through. Baby carp imitation. Interesting. Very interesting. Still haven't seen a baby carp. Don't know that they exist, but lots of people match them. Lots of people match that hatch, especially in the big bait world. Now in the jig world. All the fishing lots. Darius, I cannot confirm or deny if that does anything good or bad, but we're going to find out, I guess. Bobby, your success rate will probably go through the roof. But you have too many balsa, beautiful balsa crankbaits to throw, so keep chunking them. We all know we could probably get bit on. But what fun is that? Because I feel like there's a little more joy involved when it's not, you know what I mean? Like when you have a pretty crankbait you want to throw, you go out there and throw it and you don't get any bites, and you're like, I could probably throw a red shad worm. If you catch less fish on the bait that you had imagined catching all the fish on, if you catch a few fish on it, it's more exciting than maybe if you could have caught more fish on a red shad culprit worm. Rather throw what's fun. Yeah, I've learned that, Bobby. I guess in my old age, I just try and fish what brings me joy. Might not be the right thing. Might make way too many casts with it, but I'm not trying to make a living fishing, so I can do that. I'm just trying to get out of the house. Caught a 3 on a dinger blemish. Those catch fish. The blemishes work. Oh, I thought you meant a yum dinger. You meant dinger. Brian Dinger. I tossed a crank for 2 hours at least last week without a bite. What did they end up biting, Bernsey? Morgan knows the dinger blims. That was the way to go. Jeremy, that's about all I get anyway. So I'll take what I can get. I don't know. Some days, I don't know if y'all fish like this, but there's some days I just like, I want to get like a spinnerbait bite. Like I really want to catch them on a spinnerbait. And I'll throw a spinnerbait way too much just to catch one on a spinnerbait. AJ is correct. They would not have been blemishes had someone else been selling them. They would have been their premium model. Hey, Boo Boo. Hey, Boo Boo. Nobody's here. Chill. Chill. Hey, you're deafening everybody. Chill out. Oh, now she can go bark at the door all she wants. Can't fish. Start a whatnot and buy estates low, sell on whatnot, then quit your day job and fish every day. That'd be pretty sweet. I wonder how many. I wonder how many estate sales are going on right now in the U.S. with fishing gear. That's like good. You'd have to have people everywhere. You'd have to have a pretty big wallet. You'd have to pay people to go to these things for you. And you'd have to buy everything and just start a warehouse. I don't. You know what's crazy is when I was a kid, when I was like 11, 12, whenever Excalibur came out, I used to throw their ghost minnow jerkbait. That was like my number one pond bait. I slayed on that thing. And then for whatever reason, like as I advanced, I just quit throwing it. Like once I got a boat and quit like fishing in ponds and stuff as much. But when I was like coming up and learning, and I still have it, believe it or not, I still have that jerk bait somewhere. It's probably hanging up there on the wall. But that was a good jerk bait. And the Mark Sosin Excalibur big jerk bait was a good one. I never see people talking about those. I don't know if the Excalibur jerk bait never caught on, or what the deal is with that one. But very rarely do you see people hyping that one up. But I caught a lot of fish on it. The ghost minnow was a great bank lure. I wonder if I still have one. Or I wonder where that one is. Yeah, right in here. I'll see if the old jerk piece is in here. There she is. Last time this was thrown was by 12-year-old me. I broke the hook on it. Actually, I replaced these with Gamakatsus. Damn, I was serious. So maybe it wasn't 12-year-old me. It was a Palomar knot, so it was more advanced than that. And it's only got one hook on it. This thing was the juice, dude. That's the one, though. I used to catch a lot on this thing. I don't know what it is. I guess it's a Yozuri. That thing caught some fish. But back then, my success was ranked a little differently. Takahiro would be, his pants would be blowing off right now with all these hooks, these red hooks. That's the big boy. This is the last one I threw, looks like. And I believe I threw this at Lay Lake in August. catching live scope fish before live scope existed. Morgan, you would probably know this. AJ, you might. Has Jason Christie ever done like a tell-all with what he actually does with a jerkbait, with a Rogue? Is that the 5.5? I don't remember. It was the biggest one they had back in the day. Because I kept catching too many little ones on regular size jerkbaits. So I went to the store and they had these. And yes, this is 5.5 inches. And this was the biggest one they had. And I believe they were on sale. So I bought like 10 of them. Was that a cold water thing, Morgan? He just says, these are just some good old ones. Yeah, I don't like, I want to know what he targets with it, because I feel like he was catching maybe like scope fish 20 years ago that nobody knew existed. He was catching them with a jerkbait. But I don't know that I've ever seen him actually come out and say, this is how you do this. Talked about it a little, but I feel like he could go way more in depth. I know he puts a snap on the split ring and the nose to get more weight. Interesting. Like I said, I just want to know what he's throwing at, because he's always out in the middle, and I don't feel like it's all brush related. He's got a Rogue video. It's probably vague and cryptic and tells you just enough. He's like the modern day Van Dam. Like, Van Dam has so much fishing knowledge, but if you watch one of his videos, it's like Bass 101. Maybe that's his new thing that he's doing with his I guess he's got like a Bass Pro Shop show coming out. Maybe it's like a tell-all. That would be badass though. Like, I would much prefer Van Dam to do like, dude, somebody should steal this idea. They shouldn't. No, I won't. I won't say. Uh, Silent Riser. He's always on a pond. That's what I'm saying. He's like the modern day Bill Dance, dude. Or he's maybe that's what he's trying to transition into. I don't know. Like, I don't remember. I haven't watched Bill Dance or like the shows that I watched as a kid. I don't remember how much juice Bill Dance gave up. I feel like Bill Dance gave up some juice for like kid juice. You know what I mean? Like up and comer juice. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember. Those guys are not telling shit. You're exactly right, Burns. They're not. I'm almost done. This is exciting. I have all these jigs done. A few more green pumpkins and 4 white ones. Get on there. Kevin needs to do a tell-all about behind-the-scenes stuff. He's too squeaky clean for that. It'd be awesome, but didn't. Uh-oh. Nope, that'll work. Nope. Did I pierce that? Of course, the last jig I do, the skirt collar gets jacked up. Whoa. Not good. Not sexy. Got a big gap. Gotta fix the gap. And that's goofy looking. Okay. They treat us like corporations and government does. You can't handle the truth. That's pretty accurate. That is pretty accurate. They give you just enough to keep you interested and keep you coming back, but you don't get the real juice. You got to think, dude. It's like 40 years of pattern fishing. There's more to it than just like a little bullshit. All right. Those are done. Extra skirts. The only place he shot was a pond, was the place he shot some stuff with standing timber. Who, Christy? Every video, this trailer is still in the water. Does that mean private? Does that mean nobody else is coming to the ramp? Does that mean he's in Jimmy Houston's backyard? Oh, yeah. That's sexy. Too bright. Too bright. Ten killer cur, maybe the rivers, a small lakes between 10 killer and grand. Christy, show us the jerkbait goods. We want to know, bro. But you got to think, dude. That bite was forward facing now. Like everybody has to have found it, right? Like if they see those fish out there high in the column and it's cold, like now they know how to catch them. Maybe it's a weird retrieve thing in combination with, but I would think looking at them would sure be helpful. The first bite scopers learn. Maybe. Is that Scoper 101? First day on the job, find a fish, throw a jerk piece at it, call it a day. This shit ain't so bad. This ain't so bad. All right, swim jigs are done. Anyway, I'm about to head home. Good talking to you boys. If you need some swim jigs, reach out. Make you a smoking deal. The jig by itself, the hook by itself is $1. I think I'm gonna sell these for like $2.50. Best deal in town. Holler at me. See you dudes. Adios.